Well, another rant. Yay. Well, let's be real with ourselves. Ranting is basically what I do best, and it's basically why people continue to watch me, those who still do. What is my rant this time, and why am I taking off my glasses, for those of you who are familiar with the gimmick? You know, this is a topic I should have discussed years ago, but like everything else I've been doing, a narcissist basically dictated what I could and couldn't do. And I was a pushover. And well, as a result, there's a lot of stuff that I could have touched on but didn't. But to be honest with you, it's better late than never. And what is this topic this time? Depending on the feedback, I may end up turning this into a series. Probably not. But you know what? Let's just talk. Let's just say this: the right wing ruins everything. Everything they touch just turns to fucking shit. And what is this? Am I talking about this time? Have you ever noticed media criticism is fucking awful? And I mean, really fucking awful. Like, when you just look at, like, a lot of media criticism, it's some of the cringiest shit. And majority of it is just, it doesn't even talk about the material, or those who criticize the material they're talking about. They have never either watched it, or they have bad media literacy, or they just simply don't understand what they watched. Or you don't have media criticism, which is what most media criticism is, thanks to grifters like Critical Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, The Quartering, who talk about everything under the sun, yet don't fucking engage with what they talk about. Like, they've basically ruined media criticism. Like, anything that's actually bad, that there are legitimate things to talk about that make a certain thing bad. Let's say there's a really bad game. Let's just say Dragon Age Velgard. What I've seen from it, it looks like shit. The dialogue is just dog shit. It's basically a Disney movie in a series that was a grimdark fantasy. It was a series where you role played as whoever you race that the game gave you an option to choose, and how you had the ability to treat any recruited character however you wished. You could treat them very nicely or treat them like shit. You can make some really evil choices that could fuck multiple NPCs and even party members over. What actually makes an RPG where you actually role play, that does not exist in the Velgard. And hell, Mass Effect, Andromeda had the same fucking issues, where the role-playing aspects of what makes the BioWare games good, and I'm talking about before, like, freaking, they became the shitty fucking game developer they currently are. No one pays attention to those criticisms, and because let's be real, most people who watch these grifters don't fucking play games. Anyone that knew anything about Dragon Age, or anything who knows anything about fucking BioWare games, could see the huge step down in terms of the character writing, in terms of the choices you can make, the kind of characters you could be. Like, if you play the Mass Effect trilogy like I have, there's multiple different things you can do in those games. Depending on your choices, characters can live or die. There's characters that can die in the very first game in the trilogy, such as Rex, if you're not careful on how you talk to him on Vermeer, or one of the survivors, Ashley or Keaton. The choice you make on that planet determines who's going to live on for the rest of the trilogy. What happens to the council? Do you sacrifice them, or do you let them live? Some of these choices may be insignificant, but the further you play through the games, the way the aliens react to you if you do not save the council in Mass Effect 2, they're more hostile to you. But if you save them, they treat you warmly and like a hero. It's those small things that made the experience far more immersive. And depending on the choices you made and from one installment to the next, the way the characters are going to basically react to you is different. If you destroy the genophage cure in Mass Effect 2, Rex is more hostile to you compared to the friendly interactions you get if you choose to keep Merlin's research. It's small stuff like that. Now, I'm speaking from Mass Effect because that's what I have the most experience playing in, along with Knights of the Old Republic. Hell, speaking of, let's talk about Knights of the Old Republic 1. When you make a choice in let's say at one point in the game, let's say you're a dark side character. If you kill Juhani, one of the characters who was her friend, way more than that, if you read between the lines, when you encounter her later in the game on Korriban, she falls to the dark side, and this only happens if you kill Juhani. So some of your choices you make do end up having consequences. Yeah, they may be small, but the very point is you could be as evil as you wanted in early BioWare games, but now everything is so cookie cutter, and none of these people actually talk about it. Everybody else who just talks about, a DI, woke this, woke that. Yet the conversation on the actual writing of a game or the gameplay or how things are getting worse is not brought up by these grifters. It doesn't matter if the games in the past were amazing in how they played. They don't care about that. They don't push that, which means any legitimate criticisms towards a game like Dragon Age Veilguard is completely swept under the rug, because if you bring this up to those who are on the opposite side, who just defend every fucking thing that BioWare does, even no matter how shit it is, it makes the ability to actually do media criticism harder. And the fucking fascists who dominate the discourse don't have to actually engage with the medium that they're criticizing, because the whole stick with them is just making as much money as possible, just without ever engaging. They don't even have to be long-term fans. A lot of these people that shit on the Veilguard have never fucking played the previous games in the fucking Dragon Age series. They talk about it being woke because it has same-sex romance options, despite the fact that anyone who's played a fucking BioWare game, like for more than 5 minutes, like would know that these options existed in almost every fucking game that BioWare has ever done, even though in their early games in the 2000s, you actually had to search for it. And I'm talking about like Knights of the Old Republic 1, and I'm not sure about Jade Empire. I never played it, but I'm pretty sure there is a same-sex option there. Mass Effect 1, I do not count Liara as a same-sex option, simply because the way the Asari species work. But I guess you could interpret that as an option if you want to. The very fact is, those options existed. And the very fact, hell, you could romance aliens in the Mass Effect series. Yeah, they're gonna complain. They're gonna talk about like romancing like a woman, or romancing a guy, or romancing someone from a different species. It's like these people don't fucking know anything. Hell, in some of Bethesda's games, you're able to do this as well. So why the hell is it that we allow these people to dominate the conversation? And you know what? This is one thing I'm going to criticize, like, the left for. We should have been on this. We should not have allowed these reactionary shitheads to dominate media criticism. Because anything legitimate that we could criticize, that we actually could have a discussion about, is not possible without being lumped in with these fucking idiots. We can't. And that's bullshit. because there's a lot we can criticize. There's a lot we can critique. Yet, will our well-constructed videos or our knowledge about the material that we're actually criticizing, will that be listened to compared to the grifters? Absolutely not. These people have absolutely destroyed media criticism. It's impossible to even have a discussion. Like, let's say we're going to discuss The Last Jedi because we want to counter the narrative. And I will talk about it at some point, about The Last Jedi. Why it's a bad movie. It literally is a fucking bad movie. It's a racist film that portrays like non-white characters in the most disgusting light. It's misogynistic. If you just look at some of the subliminal messages and some scenes in the movie, like with the thing with the throne with Rey on her knees, like, and the way like she was Kylo was positioned like almost as if she was giving a blowjob. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can criticize about The Last Jedi. It is extremely misogynistic. It's extremely racist. But these fucking stupid freaking criticisms that we hear about The Last Jedi, they're listened to more than what I'm talking about. Then you have people on the toxic side who are basically nothing. Oh, because these grifters hate it, that means it's good. No, it's fucking not. Like, The Last Jedi, there's a lot of shit that is just wrong with that movie. That it is made by a fucking man that literally hates Star Wars. He literally does. It feels like he hates Star Wars or just doesn't know enough about it. Yet, anyone that actually does a good critique of The Last Jedi, very few of those exist, unfortunately. As much, and I hate that film, but nearly all the criticisms towards The Last Jedi are complete fucking dog shit. But no, who's going to listen to some schmo like me that eventually does do a video about The Last Jedi? And I mean an actual fucking criticism video that talks about the things that are wrong with the film. And that's the thing that I hate about the right wing. They've destroyed media criticism because there is nothing really to talk about with these people. When you actually talk to them and ask them, okay, why did you not like this thing? And you could be the person that hates it as well. Like, these people don't want to have a conversation why they don't like this thing. Let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of these people probably have never engaged that much with media to begin with. Like, they have a very small pool of stuff that they consume. So that's pretty much explains why they're not good at media criticism. And not to mention, to be a freaking critic, you actually have to engage with the material that you're talking about. And none of these so-called critics even do that. Majority of these people do not know what they're talking about. They say everything is a fact, even though it's fucking not. They talk about the most pointless shit. Like, let's just use an example. The Acolyte, they just use some of the stupidest fucking criticisms rather than actually go by the stuff that is actually legitimately wrong with the show. Or they talk about freaking about Kenobi. They like talk about the stuff that's so minuscule that it doesn't fucking matter. Yet they were more fixated on, oh, this black actress, it has a huge role in this fucking show. The right wing it's just their so-called criticism is not criticism at all. It's just them spreading a bunch of misogynistic and racist bullshit. That's what most of it is. And they have literally ruined media criticism, because when you watch these channels, you don't even have to watch the videos to understand what's in them. You can literally just fucking look at the thumbnail. I mean, it's the same fucking shit that we've been seeing for the past 10 fucking plus years now. There's no originality in any of these people's videos. In fact, I would challenge anyone to watch any of these people, and you'll hear that right-wing fucking media criticism videos, they sound exactly the fucking same. It's like they have the same freaking script. It's like they sound like NPCs, and I will just say that. And the left, there's very few of us that actually do media criticism and do it well. because we're more concerned. I'm talking about those who identify as left, though a lot of these people are fucking liberals, are more concerned with defending the stuff that gets criticized by these fucking right-wingers rather than actually engage with the criticism itself. Majority of the criticism that they engage with is just defending some of the most nebulous fucking criticism. In fact, none of them actually engage with any actual criticism themselves. Many of them don't, because that's not part of their agenda. And in fact, that's problematic within itself, because if we're not going to engage with our own media criticisms, then we allow the freaking right wing to have the fucking narrative. That is why they basically have taken over the discourse, because nobody on the left, or the so-called left of media criticism, have the balls to actually say, this is fucking shit. Because they're afraid of being labeled as a fucking racist or a misogynist, because my fucking generation, I could fucking say this because I'm a millennial, has fucking invented a council culture, and basically, fuck you, millennials. Thank you, my generation, for helping this fascist movement that has arisen in the past 10 fucking years. Thank you, you fucking dumb motherfuckers. How do you feel now? Again, that's a tangent for another time, but still, millennials, my generation, has fucking ruined media criticism. So yeah, fuck millennials, fuck the right wing, and especially fuck my generation for creating these monsters to begin with. And you know what? I'll say it one last time. Fuck millennials.